Hey guys, so I just dropped my triple divs. It wasn't that much because I haven't been eating much, but I felt I had to go a little bit, little rabbit pellets. Hey, yeah, so I'm gonna take the slow route up to Cedar. And I'm gonna take residential streets because before I actually clock back in for Uber, I wanted to tell you a little bit of a story. Kind of silly, actually. So we got a couple events coming up. One next weekend is a baby shower that my wife are throwing for Trinity. So I was we're all looking forward to that. You know, it's gonna be a nice little get together. And then Babe's family, more specifically, I think her mom, my mother-in-law, and her immediate family, sisters. She's got 3 sisters that I know of. A couple brothers. Anyway, they had planned Easter, right? And they were going to have it at a park here in town, south side town, southeast. So they rented the spot. And I didn't know anything about this at all because honestly, I just go with the flow. I just go wherever my wife tells me to go on Easter because I really don't have much of a family anymore. You know, besides Auntie Dawn, I don't really talk too much to my mom's side of the family, like as far as cousins and stuff. And then I don't talk to my dad's family at all because you know, my dad kind of put adrift. That's a story for another day. But yeah, I don't talk to anybody on that side. So, in saying that, I spend most of our, you know, family things with my wife's family. So they had planned this Easter thing. My mother-in-law had rented a spot at this park. It's near where they all grew up, right? So the other day, my wife talked to her mom. It's when we were thrift shopping. We got back from Bakersfield, and she was talking with her mom on the phone. And my mother-in-law got my wife all fired up. So apparently, the plan was just to go, you know, hang out with her family at the park, you know, for Easter. Well, one of my wife's cousins told her mom, I'm not going because I'm gonna be there. Well, I'll get back to that. So another aunt had mentioned something about the baby shower and said, well, why are we having the baby shower up there at Woodward Park? Nobody lives over there. And my wife's like, wait a minute. This is for Trinity. This is our immediate family. If you don't want to go, you don't want to make the trip, then what are you bitching about? What, I'm supposed to change the location because you don't want to go all the way up there? Made no sense. So this is my mother-in-law's older sister, and she's a little entitled, you know. She's the matriarch of the family, but it means nothing to me. And it really shouldn't mean anything to you know, our party, in the sense that, you know, we're not going to change things up because you don't feel like going uptown. I mean, it's hop, skip, and a jump on a fucking freeway. What are you complaining about, right? So it was almost like, well, why aren't you having it here next to everybody else? It's stupid. So that fired my wife up. But to go back to her cousin not wanting to go to Easter, she basically said she doesn't want to be around me, which kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, what did I do? So here it goes. About 10 years ago or so, we had like an event over at our house. Me and Babe had just got together, and I think specifically it was her birthday. And her two girl cousins came in, and I remember this because it was just something so stupid and minuscule. They had passed by, and I went, good game, to their butt, slapped their butts and said, good game. Now, this was stupid. It was stupid on my part because not everybody's going to react to that very well, you know, and I basically went out of bounds of my locker room humor. You know what I mean? And I've done it to boys, girls, you know, my kids, you know, my wife. It's just one of those stupid things, you know, like in football, they get the little, you know, the tush slap and you say good game. It's kind of like, you know, just one of these locker room jokes. Well, they're the wrong person to do that to because I have a feeling that they have had some inappropriate things done to them. I mean, that's the assumption. And we'll get back to that. So I had found out that they didn't like it and they were really upset about it, and I ruined their fucking day, and I felt bad because I had been drinking and I was just being stupid. You know, I wasn't thought out. And I had messaged the older one, say, hey, tell you, you know, if this is for you and your sister, I'm so very sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. It was stupid. And I told her it was just, I got carried away with my stupid locker room humor, and I'm just one of those, you know, stupid guys. And I'm, you know, I don't mean any kind of, you know, sexual, inappropriateness, you know, I don't, that's not me. I may joke around and stuff and say things, but I definitely didn't mean to make her feel uncomfortable, right? So she got back to me in the message, says, okay, I thank you for apologizing, you know, I just kept it kind of short and sweet. Now, given that was 10 years ago, okay, I have actually seen this girl and her sister at like more than a handful of times since then. Like, we haven't like hung out one-on-one, but obviously with the family, and you know, we've talked to each other, and you know, never ever touched this girl again, ever. Not to mention, I haven't seen her in probably over 3 years. In all honesty, I haven't seen her, like, because her family, like her mom, and she's got two other sisters, and then, you know, she's got like a stepdad or whatever. They moved to another house. I've never been there, right? They haven't come around. They haven't hung out. And I never ask questions. It's none of my business, right? But I just haven't seen them. And now it's like all of a sudden it's like they have like PTSD, or at least this one cousin has PTSD so bad that she doesn't want to, this was going to be like the first Easter where all the family members would get back together again. And it has nothing to do with me. Because all the sisters, meaning my mother-in-law and her sisters, they're always, you know, mad at each other for some reason. They're always having some kind of drama or beef with each other. And it has nothing to do with me. You know, one sister's mad at the other one, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to go. So all these kind of, you know, drifts in the family are mainly them hurting each other's feelings and then saying, well, I'm not going to hang out with them. So all of a sudden, something that happened 10 years ago is the reason this particular family isn't going to hang out for Easter. Well, yeah, I didn't even know about it, and I don't have to fucking go, to be honest. I don't give a shit whether I see him ever again. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt my feelings, but it kind of puts my wife in a predicament where it's like, and my wife called it too. She's like, I'm calling bullshit. Like, how many times have we hung out with her? She's never reached out. She never, you know, she didn't go to our wedding in Vegas. It's like they want drama. They want to stay away from the rest of the family. And here we had a real chance to kind of like, let bygones be bygones. All the sisters and their kids can all hang out together and have a grand old time. And then I ended up being a scapegoat. And the funny thing is, I didn't know anything about the fucking plans. Now, how stupid is that? Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I apologized. Never happened again. I don't care if I ever see her again. But I'm the scapegoat? I don't think so. Anyway, so that got my wife fired up. She's like, that is such a crock of shit. And then, I don't know what it is with the women in my wife's family. They have this tendency to pick at something and use it as kind of like, a reason to just, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that, and then here's the capper. So apparently I'm a super perv because I slapped their butts, right? Meanwhile, there are people, men in their family that are genuine pedophiles. They have touched the girls in their family inappropriately. And this is just from what I heard, okay? I'm not going to say names because I don't know. I stay out of their fucking business. But it's because their family, blood related. I'm an outsider. I told you before how I feel my wife's family is very cliquey. And the person on the outside will always get the raw end of the deal, right? I'm never going to get a fair, trial, jury, judge. Never. They're just buying their time, hoping that, babe cuts me loose or something like that. There are people in her family that want us to fail, my wife and I. And they look for any excuse. And I didn't make things better, right? I own up to my shit, though. I smacked those girls' butts, said good game. And I thought it was funny. It had nothing sexual about it. It was just being stupid. And they're holding on to that. They're holding on to that card. Which is stupid because, I bought this girl, the one that's pissing and moaning, I bought her a couple drinks at a concert we went to. One time I bought her a Gatorade. We had stopped at a liquor store and I insisted on paying for her stuff. To me, she was family, right? But she's gonna pull that shit like, I'm some fucking double-edged asshole that's fucking up everything. Fucking kiss my ass. You can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. I never wished her, ill health or ill will. But like I said, my mother-in-law and I have had beef. I never had a problem with her. Never. She's had a problem with me. And I've stated that, I think she's a little shallow. And you know what? I can be spiteful and I come back. Obviously she wants what's best for her daughter, right? So I'm not what she would consider a prize package. So why should her daughter, right? Well, I love her daughter and her daughter loves me. But we have an understanding, right? We're not going to agree, but I'd be there for her if she asked. I don't wish any ill will on her at all. In fact, I wish her nothing but happiness. But we have this understanding. Now, her sisters, on the other hand, they are, they're their own people. I'm not even considered family, right? So I'm a scapegoat on one. The other one doesn't think of me at all. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with never seeing these people ever again. So anyway, so needless to say, Easter has kind of folded. And then I think my wife's telling, hey, you don't want to come up. Don't come at all. I'm pretty certain that my wife didn't even intend for her aunts to even come, because I guess there's a lot of judging going on. You know, it's apparently fine when their family members do things that, you know, other people don't approve of. But my wife feels like her immediate family or is being judged by that. So it's just, there's this ridiculous, you know, double-edged kind of, well, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's double something. Double standard. And yeah, she's sick of it. She's like, you know what? I'm almost 50 years old. I don't gotta listen to this fucking old bitch saying, you know, we're not, why are we having it there? You know, it's none of your fucking business. It's our shit. Either you're gonna go there and support us as a family, or fuck off. It's plain and simple. And then the other one, I'm gonna say, well, JP's gonna be here and JP's gonna be there. I guess I won't be hanging out with the family. Bitch, I don't gotta be there. I don't care. I told my wife, if I'm the fucking common denominator, I'll stay home. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I'll stay here with these people right here on YouTube. Anyway, I had to vent about it, you know, and I was gonna wait until after a couple more hours, but I gotta get back to work. But I want to share that. I wanted to be on record that they can all fuck off. Okay? I love my wife. I love our immediate family. And the rest of them can eat shit and die. And do whatever they want for Easter. I didn't even know about it. See, I'm always the last to know. And here people are making me kind of the culprit, you know, in this stupid drift. Meanwhile, they would have it anyway. If I wasn't there, something else would take its place. So, anyway. All right. I'll talk to you guys in a couple hours, okay? Love you.